So then, it is the sixth and final day of the Gaza ceasefire agreed between Hamas and Israel. After a two-day extension, it's set to expire on Thursday. Talks are underway to extend the pause in hostilities. On Tuesday, Israel released another 30 Palestinians in exchange for 12 captives that Hamas has been holding in Gaza. Qatar has been helping to mediate the negotiations. It's hoping for a more durable agreement. The Foreign Ministry said the main focus is to secure an end to the war. Intelligence chiefs from the US and from Israel are also in Doha. They met Qatar's Prime Minister on Tuesday to discuss extending the ceasefire and the release of more hostages. So, as we've been saying, it's the last scheduled day of the ceasefire. Lots of negotiations are underway as to whether or not that will be extended. We'll get more on that now from Imran Khan, who's standing by for us right now in occupied East Jerusalem. So, Imran, tell us more about the situation there in Israel. We have this ceasefire and negotiations underway. What's the mood there about the potential for it being extended?
Well, certainly all parties are talking quite positively about the negotiations ongoing. The international community, Qatar, who is kind of leading the negotiations between Hamas and Israel. The Americans also very keen that the ceasefire should continue. But what are the details of what are the negotiations going on? Well, that's obviously being kept very, very secret. But we do know from leaks coming out that there are negotiations to release additional captives and extending the ceasefire by another 5 days. Now, they're doing this over 5 categories. The 5 categories they're talking about are releasing Israeli captives, elderly men, firstly, who are too old to be reservists. Now, the reason they bring the word reservists up is because military-aged males and females here have to do national service. So the idea that once you're too old to do that, then perhaps you can be released a bit more. Then it's female soldiers, reservist soldiers, and then the bodies, actually, of Israelis who were killed before or during a captivity. So that seems to be what they're negotiating on. There seems to be positive noises actually coming from Hamas about this as well. Hamas is, according to the Qatari, according to leaks towards the Qataris, rather, has said they are very keen to respect what the Israelis want in terms of these 5 categories. But there's a lot of pressure from the right wing in Israel, who actually control the government, that this ceasefire should not go on indefinitely. In fact, there is a deadline that keeps being said, and that is the deadline of Sunday. 10 days of a ceasefire is about all the Israelis may well be able to stomach if all of these leaks are to be believed. That happens on Sunday. After Sunday, if the ceasefire lasts that long, the Israelis will want to go back in. And we keep hearing this, not just from sources, but actually publicly from people like the Daniel Khoudary, who's the Israeli army spokesman, saying that we will go back into Gaza. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when.
Imran, thanks for that. Imran, we'll leave it there for the moment. That's the scene from occupied East Jerusalem. Let's go now to Hind Khoudary, who's in Khan Younis in the southern Gaza Strip. And Hind, tell us how people are feeling there today as discussions continue to try and expand these days of quiet.
Well, let's start from the north of the Gaza Strip, where we just learned that there has been shooting from the Israeli forces on 2 Palestinian civilians in the northern area of the Gaza Strip, where 2 Palestinians have been injured and one of them is in serious condition. Moving back to the south, we feel and we see on the ground mixed feelings. We see fear, hope, resilience, anger, anxiety, depression. People think they are using the last hours of this extended temporary ceasefire, where they're trying to buy as much as they can, despite the fact that they are striving to find anything in the markets. They say that there's nothing available, no winter clothes, no food. They're trying to reach some aid that has been entering the Gaza Strip, but at the end of the day, they feel that this, after talking to a couple of people, they said that this temporary ceasefire is meaningless as long as they were not able to go back to their houses, to make sure that their families stuck in the northern area of the Gaza Strip is safe. We are still disconnected from the northern Gaza Strip, and it's very hard for us to reach people in there. And it's not only us as reporters, it's also about civilians that are striving to get any news from their beloved ones in the northern area of the Gaza Strip.
Yes, incredibly difficult situation there. So what's the aid you mentioned? What's happening to that aid? Who's managing its distribution, and indeed, how is it being distributed?
Okay, so every single day since the beginning of this temporary ceasefire, 200 trucks of aid entered. We're talking about a total of approximately 950 aid trucks that entered, including food, medicine, fuel, cooking gas. Who's distributing these aid is international NGOs and international agencies with local partners in the Gaza Strip. We noticed that WFP, the World Food Programme, was able to enter the northern area of the Gaza Strip. We're also talking about ICRC and PCRF. All of these international organizations have been facilitating in the northern area of the Gaza Strip since the first day of the temporary ceasefire. So aid is coming in the Gaza Strip, but at the end of the day, it is not enough. The demand of food, water, medicine, fuel, cooking gas is huge, is massive. People are striving to find any of these basic needs to continue coping with this life. The humanitarian situation in the Gaza Strip is catastrophic, and we're seeing this on the ground every single day. Despite that there is a temporary ceasefire, but people still don't have access to clean water, to hygiene, to electricity, to bathrooms. People in this hospital in Al Nasser complex wait for hours in lines to enter the bathroom and use the bathroom. At the end of the day, there's also no water for washing themselves. So all of these hygiene problems, the health situation is deteriorating, and we're also talking about thousands of people displaced in this hospital and other UN facilities with like they don't even have the minimum basic requirements to continue and survive this Israeli war.
Indeed, sanitation situation getting worse by the day. We'll leave it there, Hind. Thanks for that update, Hind Khoudary there in the south of Gaza.